Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So today I want to talk a little bit about goal setting and what I think is a common, not mistake, but an area that gets overlooked a lot when it comes to goal setting. And what we tend to do is think in one dimension about our goals. And I'm guilty of it as well. This kind of shook me up when I was at a mastermind event and the question was asked around what is your big hairy audacious goal, right? And the examples that we always think of with goals come in the form of dollars and cents, right? They're in the form of dollar signs, revenue targets, et cetera, size, numbers, number of people. I want to grow into a $3 million business by 2024. I want to do X, Y, and Z. But we tend to measure in the dollars. Maybe we measure in headcount. Maybe we measure in whatever it may be, a number of properties in a portfolio, right? It's always in numbers. And we always think bigger, bigger, bigger. We take a number that we're doing right now. We take a metric that we have right now. Let's say I have $1 million business. So therefore, I want a $3 million business, $5 million business, $10 million business. When we say, what's your next goal? Instead of leaving that where it is, if you're content, right? Are you uncomfortable with the status quo? Are you uncomfortable with that $1 million business? No. Okay. Well, what if we switch the goal then to you got $1 million business? Cool. What if the goal is now I want to hit 40% profit margin this year? What if it's not growth? What if it's not bigger? What if it's better? I want to hit 40% profit margin. I want to improve employee turnover by X percent this year. And that's my focus. I want to, here's a great one. I want to achieve the same revenue and same profitability, but work half the hours. That could be a big, hairy, audacious goal. And that's what I realized is that I'm about to hit a level in my business where I'm going to become comfortable with the revenue level. Like I'm okay not growing the revenue drastically. I'm okay with the revenue being growing at a steady, slower pace than it has in the past couple of years if it means that I get to work less hours. I'm okay with that. My goal became I want to maintain my revenue and work half the hours or maintain my profitability and work half the hours. That requires a lot of work. And one could argue that that's harder than simply growing your top line because there's a formula to growing the top line. It's more customers, more customer value, higher price, right? You got to increase one of those variables. But when you want to bring home the same profitability but work less hours, now we've got all these metrics working in tandem. We got to control the revenue dial, we've got to control the cost dial, and we've got to control how much time am I spending. And we have to look at team. All of that comes into play. Hey, so I'm a proponent of good, clean bookkeeping. Even better when a bookkeeper works with clients who are actually in your industry and speaks your language. If you're in the health and wellness space, you need to check out Elmwood Bookkeepers, a New Jersey based firm serving digital entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space. Their service is all about collaboration and open communication with a modern approach. If you want a permanent vacation from your bookkeeping, make sure to check out elmwoodbookkeepers.com. Check the link in the show notes. So what I think of, and I think of this because of my husband who's playing a lot of these video games, like he's playing Fallout, which if you don't know the premise of Fallout, it's like this post-apocalyptic world. It happens to be Boston, which I love. What he's doing is he defeated the game. Like over a couple years ago. I think during COVID, he played this game a lot and he defeated the game. And I keep asking him, why are you still playing this game? Like, didn't you win? Like, didn't you get to the end? And he's like, yeah, but now I'm going back and I'm building the civilizations. I'm collecting all the loot. I'm going through and completing the challenges. I'm going through and completing all the levels at 100%, right? I'm going back and completing all the stuff I didn't finish because I hit the goal, which was to complete the game and unlock all the stuff to get through the game. But now I'm going back through and I'm picking up all the pieces I left behind and I'm perfecting. And I was like, oh, what an interesting analogy for business. What if you hit your revenue goal, right? You made it to the mountain. You hit the goal, you got through it, you beat the boss. But now you take a step back and you say, for the next year, I'm going to refine, I'm going to prune, I'm going to actually perfect. I'm going to go back through everything I did and make it better. I'm going to go back and replicate what I did, but do it in half the time and see if I can achieve that and make myself a better business owner, not in the form of accomplishments, but in the form of development. What about that? What if your skills level up and your acumen as opposed to your revenue? Can you do the same thing in less time? Can you do the same thing better? Can you do the same thing without the same turnover? Can you achieve the same financial results while also changing a different variable? I think that would be an interesting goal to set for this year. For the rest of this year, we've got another 6 months left of 2023, but also if you've met your revenue goals, if you're on track already to meet your revenue goal, I would ask you infuse in a condition, add a constraint. Add a constraint. Cut out 4 more hours a week of your time between now and the end of the year, right? That's a big one that I always see. And I'm going to be trying to do that myself. I cut out Fridays altogether for working and it's been wonderful. And that's okay if my revenue doesn't go up drastically. That was my goal, was to not work on Fridays, not have any meetings on Fridays. And we're doing it. So, what is your version of that you could actually commit to today that you could use to drive your progress forward without necessarily climbing uphill in revenue? Because maybe it's not what your business needs right now to take on more revenue. Maybe what your business really needs is better operations, better team, and honestly, a healthier, stronger leader. How can you actually foster that? So give yourself a bit of a challenge to go and find your big, hairy, audacious goal that you can complete by the end of the year in the form of something other than dollars. See how that can serve you. Do you want to explore more about the topics discussed in today's episode? Or maybe you have specific questions on how to apply what you learned? If so, check out the Keep What You Earn community. Join other listeners, entrepreneurs, and experts, and get the support you need to get out of overwhelm and into action. Click on the link in the show notes to join now for free and start maximizing the value you get from each and every episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.